Louisville Metro organization First Neighborhood Place is trying to break down barriers that black men often face in seeking to improve their mental health. Today they hosted the Black Men's Mental Health Conference. Their goal was to encourage African American men to have open dialogues with others and connect those attending to critical resources. It featured panels and workshops on addiction recovery, reentry after incarceration, career pathways, and much more.
We're trying to normalize the conversation, remove stigmas, make boys and men, help them feel more comfortable with accessing therapy, but also trying to provide adequate therapy for them.
The conference marks the end of the group's Black Mental Health Workshop series for the downtown area, which is focused on topics like depression, trauma, and the impact of violence. They plan to have more workshops in other parts of the city in the future.